Hey, what's up guys, Aiden here. Today I just wanted to talk a bit about the Jake Paul fight and go over the Floyd Mayweather fight as well that we saw against Tenshin Nasukawa, which was a couple of years ago, and I think we should start with that one. Basically, Floyd Mayweather fought Tenshin. Tenshin's an absolute beast kickboxer, right? He's an absolute protege. He's been in there with some of the toughest killers, and I've got some footage here from his fight with Rodtang. And Rodtang is an absolute, he's the Mike Tyson of Muay Thai basically right now. If you go and watch any of Rodtang's fights over in 1FC, he is the champion and he's smashing all the competition, right? And so Tenshin has gone in and had a full-on fight with Rodtang, including punches, kicks, knees, elbows, the whole lot. And he's come out of it, you know, he's come out of it like fine. It was a competitive fight. It was a good fight. And then he goes in with Floyd Mayweather, and Floyd Mayweather sets up this fight, is, you know, funded. It's all kind of, I don't know, it's Floyd's show. It's the Floyd show basically. And Tenshin goes into this fight as obviously a huge underdog. He probably would, I mean, very, very highly likely he would have lost that fight anyway if it was a full-on boxing match and, you know, it wasn't fixed, which is what I'm trying to get at. But anyway, so instead of having a proper boxing match, we seem to have some sort of exhibition going on where Floyd is kind of walking around the ring, just smirking and just landing pitter-pat punches on Tenshin. And you know what, even at the time I thought it was legit. I only watched the fight briefly and I saw a few knockdowns. I was like, wow, okay, Floyd's got power and that guy is not ready for it, not knowing really who Tenshin was at the time. And then my friend brought it up the other day and he said, dude, like, I think that Floyd fight was fixed, have you seen it? And I was like, which one you on about? And he's, yeah, tell him about the Tenshin one. So we sat down and had a look again at the footage and breaking it down. I mean, it just doesn't look like the shots are connecting that hard. And then we compared it to the Rodtang fight where Tenshin is literally going blow for blow, and Tenshin's punches in the Floyd fight, it doesn't look like he was aiming to hurt Floyd with the punches that he was throwing compared to what he was throwing to Rodtang. So it's kind of like, what's going on there? Okay, so I'm pretty sure that was a fixed fight. It looks like it to me. They did land blows on each other. Obviously they did take a little bit of brain damage, but the way that he went down, it just, one of the knockdowns did look legit, but the rest just didn't look right in my eyes. Let me know what you guys think. And then going on from that, the Ben Askren Jake Paul one on the weekend, which was last weekend, it was absurd. Absurd is maybe the word I would use. I didn't expect it to actually just be the Jake Paul show. I thought Ben Askren was gonna get to work and do things, but the referee had different ideas. Snoop Dogg and the commentary team were just off key all night. I don't know what they were saying. Something about, oh, I hope they're gonna kiss. I was like, what? Did I just hear that? I mean, Michael Buffer getting Ben Askren's name wrong as Ben Askew, that was kind of funny actually, but still, I don't know, man. It just, that whole thing just kind of felt like the Jake Paul show. And Ben Askren was back on his feet. Obviously it is at the referee's discretion to, you know, call off a fight or whatever, but given that people are paying all that money, given that it was Ben Askren's biggest paycheck, given that he was back on his feet and he looked ready to go, from my angle and looking at, you know, what people are writing online about it as well, maybe that fight should have gone on for a bit longer. But yeah, Ben didn't care at the end of it. At the end of the day, he got his paycheck, and yeah, whoever paid for it just basically got robbed. So yeah, I'm just thinking now the Floyd versus Logan Paul fight, it's going to be fixed. They're going to decide who's going to be the winner. I wouldn't even be surprised if Logan Paul gets to have something in that fight, if Floyd gives him something. But I think it's the Floyd show again. I think Floyd's got the bigger money, the bigger pool, so it's going to be the Floyd show all the way. But the precedent that this is setting for boxing, I don't know if this is going to damage the sport of boxing. I haven't been able to make up my mind yet, but definitely Floyd going around fighting people and fixing fights is not good. It's not a good look, because it does introduce that element of, well, okay, if Floyd does it, then, you know, what's not to say that, you know, let's say the star power of, I don't know, I mean, Canelo would never do that. Someone else, like, just taking a fall, taking a dive for the sake of the peas, is possible. And yeah, man, it just casts a bad kind of look on the sport. So I don't know, I'm still not sure. Like, as long as, if it just stays in the YouTube crowd where YouTubers are able to dictate, you know, what the referee says, what the judges are going to say, what the, you know, because at the end of the day it said directed by, at the end of the fight it was like directed by XYZ. So I was like, okay, cool, well, that's interesting. So as long as that stays in YouTube, but I can see it spilling over into boxing. I really could, like, especially if they want to set up potential super fights or storylines. I mean, take a fall, bruv, and you get the trilogy fight. Do you know what I mean? Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury, what if one of them boys takes a fall? Do you know, it's just, I don't think those two will do that. I don't think those two will do that. But you know, in future, if that's where the money is going to be and that's what's going to be, you know, I don't want it to turn into a WWE show, but there's very potential that something like that could happen. Let me know what you guys think. Catch you guys in the next one. I'm Aiden. I'm out of here.